Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, one. Good evening, all, and welcome to the ISCA 2025 Super Cup Series. It's Thursday night, and we're here for the Fall-In 250 at Nashville Super Speedway. And who's who? Well, right now it's Jolo coming to you live through the speakers, and I'm sitting alongside Big Al. Down in the truck, it's Kobe Jordan pushing all the levers and the buttons, making it all work. But let's talk about Big Al. How you doing this week, Big Al?
Oh, man, I guess I'm doing all right. Back down here at the Nashville Super Speedway, they call it. Hanging out, just going to go ahead and see what we're going to get into tonight.
Oh, we're going to get into the good stuff. You better believe it. We got some warriors down on the field who are going to be taking it around and trying to make the most of the situation as best they can. And they've got a lot of racing ahead of them. We're doing 193 laps tonight around, and it's going to be a hot one, I think. Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe not too bad. Let's take a look at the conditions right now. About 1.3 miles here going around Nashville. Outside Lebanon, Tennessee, we've got 3 stages overall, stopping at 40, stopping at 70, and then taking that to 193. So the stretch from 70 to 193 is a good $120 and change. 6 sets of tires, 85 laps in the tank, a 76 in the air, 81 degrees on the track right now. Wind out of the southwest at about 8 miles an hour. So that's not going to be too much of a problem in terms of temperature and wind, but the big problem tonight is going to be trying to keep up pace with yourself and just making sure that you're in it for the long run and that your strategy pays off.
Yep.
Let's see what we've got. Right now we're going through some practice here. Still some time before qualifying officially begins. Let's do the keys to the race for tonight. Big Al, why don't you walk us through a little bit about driving around Nashville?
All right, first thing you got to do is you got to manage the bumps on this thing, man, because this is definitely not the smoothest chunk of concrete you ever come across. So tires going to get heat up. This thing's just going to be just a mess all over the place. Then you're going to watch that pit road entry. I think that's going to be a big one here tonight. It's going to be tricky, especially if those things happen to find their way around green flag pit stops. Then it's just going to be even more crazier. Got a pretty good opportunity to turn some green flag pit stops into some caution stops there, and then you're going to manage those short track tempers. And I'm starting to feel that way already. Just going to be really tight down there tonight. It seems like it's a big track, but it's really. Don't drive like a big track. It's not a super speedway. I don't know why they call it that. It's not Nashville. I don't know what they call it that. But anyway, back to you, Joe.
Yeah, it does seem like a bit of a misnomer to call this a super speedway. It doesn't really behave like one, does it? Kind of behaves a little bit differently. Oh, there we go. There's already somebody having trouble with the pit road entry. The 49 car has spun just slightly. Who's that? 49 tonight is going to be Jeremy Clapper-Newell.
Yeah, Jeremy's going to have to shake those bugs off, man. Hopefully he can, I'm assuming he was probably practicing trying to get down there. But, a lot of drivers are going to have to run that out there, try to see exactly how fast they'll be able to get those things tamed, get them down to that pit road entrance speed, at least point it in the right direction, and hopefully, they can get that Sunoco and go-go. Yeah. Tires going to be an issue here tonight. That's something that I think we're going to have to look out for.
It's true. That's true.
Yeah. It's like they're about to wrap up warm-ups here. Just under a minute left, and then we're getting into qualifying. While we're going to do that, let's think we'll do our picks here. See who's picking who.
That sounds good to me, my friend. Well, me, Jolo, in this situation, I had to stick to my guns. And I went with Sean Signori. That's who I think is going to be. He was doing good times in practice. Right now he's sitting about 5th in practice. But I've just got a good feeling about him, one of our newer drivers. So we'll see what's up. What about you, Big Al?
Well, I got a feeling, too. I got a feeling that the night's gonna be a good night. Give me that 29 right there, that dirty Mark Sanchez. I've been following this guy for a while. Mark actually made his first podium here a little bit earlier on in the season, but I'm thinking tonight you actually got a pretty good shot of getting that 29 car back up there on those rings here tonight.
Good choice, good choice. And how about you, Down Under?
This week I'm going to go with Kendall or Ron. Last 2 weeks he's shown a lot of pace. If he can keep it clean, then he's definitely one to watch out for. So yeah, my pick is going to be Kendall or Ron, boys.
Very good, very good. You've heard it, folks. We've got 3 picks across the board, the 7, the 29, the 2. And as they go around, we'll be keeping an eye on those guys and see who stacks up best in the grid.
Hey, tell us who your picks are. Why don't you go ahead and slam that in the chat there? Let us know who you're picking to take this thing all the way around and around tonight. It's qualifying now, officially underway. We'll be sitting back here just waiting here. Pins and needles, waiting to see who's going to put up the fastest times. Joe, how's this track stack up in your favorites of tracks?
You know, I haven't given Nashville much. I usually stack it up because I like the super speedway action, but it doesn't really behave like a super speedway, so it's kind of low on my list typically when we approach it from that direction. And you know, we've had some really good races recently at Kansas. We've had some really good races recently at Charlotte. I really love the races that we've done at Charlotte. Nashville honestly hasn't quite stacked up as much. I watched one race here last night, which I watched, the NIS top split, which was here. And that was it was an interesting race. It was an exciting race, but it ended up having a lot of late cautions as the drivers just got more and more heated. And every time a caution would happen and we get stacked back up, they would get more and more heated. So watching that happen at this racetrack with the way the concrete treats the tires, with the way people were sliding around, there's the opportunities here were a bit more few and far between. Now, with the number of racers we got on the track, I'm interested to see how that affects my opinion of Nashville, because these guys are going to be able to go pretty open throttle for a lot of this race. So the question will be, are they aware of how hard they're burning up their tires, and how can they manage that if they end up out driving themselves?
Yeah, definitely. They will be made aware just how much tire degradation is going to have an effect on their performance here. As qualifying is halfway done, man, this is just not a track where you can come down here and just put it down, run it around, and just keep it that way. There's a lot of driving that's going to happen in order to make this car continuously loop around.
Yes, indeed. And I'm looking forward to seeing exactly who's got the best lock-in on it. Who's Mr. Nashville this week. That's what I'm trying to find out. Let's take a look at the qualifying times as they're coming in, though. We have a couple of them here. Well, first of all, let's take a look at the Series Cup standings, as we've got a couple of people on here. We'll go and break it down, the top 10. Number 1 in by the points, we got Patrick Gitter, then Matt DiCiani, Derek Heitman, Tim Wortman Jr., Vincent Crowe, Brandon Pasalacqua, Greg Wachinski, Sean Signori, Paul Hill, and Randy Drumhiller are your top 10 in Cup Series points right now. Yeah,
so we're gonna be. Can we get the points back up just for a little bit? Yeah, I'm gonna be wanting to see Vincent Crowe. He's gonna make his way up on top of that board a little bit. Greg Wachinski's also gonna slide up along with Sean Signore, but Sean's not here. Oh, he is here tonight.
He is here. He's my pick tonight.
Paul Hill.
And we got Randy Drumhiller as well.
Yeah, so definitely starting to see some familiar names top of the leaderboard, or at least sliding into the top 10. That makes me excited.
That's true. We're going to start to see the shape of things change just a little bit here and there. Let's take a look and see. With a minute and 20 left in qualifying, What do we have in terms of qualifying times? Right now, leading things in your pole position as of the current standing, it's Kendall LeVron. Down under his pick. He's doing a 29.406, just ahead of Vincent Crowe, who did a 412. And Mark Sanchez in third with a 414. Down a little further, it looks like you've got Sean Signori hovering around the 7th position. And so far, it looks like we do not have times for Ryan Strunk, Greg Wyszynski, Dave Gervais, or Paul Olson. So these guys might be sitting out qualifying, and we'll be starting late. We'll see.
I think that means those guys are going to be starting from the pits, which is there's absolutely nothing wrong with starting from the pits. But speaking of starting, let's go ahead and stop, take a brief step away, get our national anthem. We'll be back with our starting lineup in tonight's coverage of the Fall In 250.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The nighttime is the right time. Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engines!
Hey, here we are, folks, back on the grid with the ISCA Super Cup Series. We're going to break things down for you in terms of who is where and tell you how tonight's race is going to go as we get things started to do 193 laps around your first row. Starting grid, your pole position goes to Kendall LeVron. Second place, Vincent Crowe. Row 2, Mark Sanchez and Kenny Powell. Down to row 3, that's 5th position. It's Jay Hone and Randy Drumhiller. In 7th, Sean Signori and Jeremy Clapper-Newell in 8th. 9th, Bacon Zelenka, and 10th, Jose Medina.
Right. That's Greg Wyszynski sitting there in the 11th, and he's going to have Paul Olson beside him in 12th. 13th place is going to show you Ryan Strunk, and he's got David Gervais rounding out this 14 car field here, trying to keep it together for us. Hopefully we can keep this thing green. You were just talking about that a little bit under the break there, Joe, saying how much you were hoping that we could actually keep this thing clean and green.
Yeah, if we keep this thing clean and green, it's going to be a nice, smooth race, and then we'll just have to worry about those stage breaks there. The 40 and the 70 are going to be the times when these guys can sort of accordion back up and make some more easy moves or easy setup for the long runs. And wherever you get set up for the long run, that might end up being where you stick for the long run in this race. We got like I said, take a look here at the graphic on screen. We got stages at 40 and a stage at 70. And then we're moving on from there to 193, and that's a 123 lap stint. So it's going to be one that really tests these guys in terms of their long-term strategy. And folks, we want to hear from you. So if you've got a pick for tonight's race, or if you're excited for how things are playing out, just go ahead and shout us out here in the YouTube chat or in the and follow along with things as we go around Nashville here.
Yeehaw. Looks like most of the field is gridded up. Still waiting on maybe, I don't think anybody. I do believe all 14 are lined up. And once the lights get ready on the pace car, he'll get the green and then he'll be rolling. And we'll be rolling. And hopefully
we will be,
rolling.
yeah.
You know, called quite a few races here. I definitely want to say this is probably some of the best weather that I've seen out of the races that I've been calling here. So definitely blessed to have favorable conditions here tonight for this event that is scheduled for 250 miles.
You did a lot of racing here, Big L, as well?
No.
You call a lot of races here, or you did mostly
call
call
a lot of races here, and I just and honestly, from what I'm just a Scrooge. I hate being so negative, but it's just not my track.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I didn't exactly have the most glowing review either, but you know what? A lot of the times when I watch a race like this, it's not just the track that brings the sort of sparkle and the shine to the moment. It's the drivers on the track and what they can do with the track. Even tracks that are, famous tracks that people like to skip, like the super short tracks sometimes, or I can't believe my brain is blanking out. Bristol. Sometimes people will skip Bristol because Bristol is a bit of a meat grinder, right?
Not gonna skip Bristol. Not skipping Dover.
Martinsville.
Probably not gonna show up at Martinsville. That's like it's like Father's Day in the hood. You know what I mean? Just probably ain't gonna make it.
Well, I always think it's the driver that makes the track sometimes, but sometimes the track makes the drivers a little bit wary or a little upset, or drive a specific way, or we'll see what Nashville draws out of these guys as the race goes on. And we've got them lining up right now, getting ready to get things started.
Except for the two car, looks like that's Kendall LeBron. He kind of maybe stopped at the beginning. They're not sure what that is. Maybe he'll get up, come back up to the top of the line. Maybe he's going to start in the back. We'll be interested to see exactly where he goes, how he fares.
Yeah, I don't think he got an end of line. He might have gotten a penalty.
He'll go back to the front.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
We'll see him back up maybe at the front here. Now it looks like Kendall LeBron is at the back of the line. I think he may have. And yes, he and Bacon Zelenka have some end-of-line penalties that they are serving here.
Mark Sanchez is it?
There it is. There's the green flag, folks. We are go, go, go on the ISCA Super Cup Series.
Big race going off turn one right now. Look like Kendall LeBron. Looks like Vincent Crowe definitely has it dialed in. He's been leading the field skillfully around for this first lap. Behind him, though, not so jelly, as he still got the 24 behind him. Still got a couple of guys there that are doubled up. The field starting to actually get single filed out here.
A little bit. Back in the middle, though, there are still some side-by-side situations going on. Clapper Newell is on the inside of Jay Hone, but he looks like he's going to slide in back there.
Still nervous about those tires, Joe. Waiting on those tires to get up to operating temperature on this concrete sometimes can be challenging.
That's right. Hey, you know what? I understand that completely. And we've got some guys who now maybe understand that as well, as all the two-wide situations have decided to sort out. Oh, no, wait, I spoke too soon. We've got some passes going on here up at the front. Kenny Powell and Sean Signori.
Yeah, Powell's still trying to fit in where he gets in, but it looked like he didn't get in at all.
No.
And that has kind of really put the 49 in a little bit of a bad way. But now looks like all is well. 44 Dremhiller, he's got a little bit of Ryan Strunk on his outside there. Ryan Strunk not wanting to relinquish that spot right there. So these two will be battling for what will seem to be not anymore So, yeah, Joe, looks like the story of the night is going to be everybody's kind of doing what they're supposed to do and playing nice.
You got to play nice if you want to make it to the end of this race. And we've got some guys on the track that, like I said, the only person you're going to outdrive, probably yourself after these first couple of laps. Once you get to where you're supposed to be, where destiny has determined your car is going to sit for some time, you're going to sit there. And so the question becomes, how well can you outdrive yourself? Watch this right now. Oop. Ryan Strunk on the outside, making the pass.
Still watching Strunk and Drumhood. These two, they've been going at it for the majority of the 3 laps, I think, that we've been running. In front of them, though, a little bit more racing goes on. We were watching the 48 car. He had a pretty hard shot to the wall there, Jose Medina, during practice. Think they had to go to a backup car.
Yes, sir. At the very front. You want?
No, I say thankfully NASCAR didn't get to see it, so they were still able to. They didn't lose the qualifying spot.
Right. Up at the front, I want to point out that Sean Signori has made his way up to the second place slot right now. He took Mark Sanchez's place, and now he's a car length ahead of him as he's got eyes on the spot of Vincent Crowe.
Signori definitely trying to get out front, and he is a leader. He is definitely not a follower, so you can believe he is going to get that 2 car, the 7 car, out front there, and more likely be a pace setter here for this thing. And that's something else too, Joe, because we'll be watching these guys, and they're definitely going to have to pick a pace, because if you get out there and you're paceless on a track like this with with concrete, you're not going to be effective for long.
Yeah. Ooh, was that some contact there? I think it might have been a little bit, potentially, from Bacon Zelenka to the back. Well, it looks like whatever contact there was, it was sorted out. Zelenka is exactly where he started this race at this time. Ryan Strunk ahead of him is up 5 positions. So it might be up to Zelenka to make his way around Strunk, but I think Strunk is going to be trying to pull away from him and make up more places if possible. Up at the front, not much is changing right now. Vincent Crowe still out in front. Sean Signori in the back, but way out in the outside. That's Medina. Jose Medina was riding the wall there for a second, coming through 1 and 2. Down on the inside of Medina goes Jay Hone. But he's not going to take it. Hone's going to fall back just a little bit.
Yeah, Medina not actually able to control the inside, so he's actually having to go high around the outside. Pretty much that means anybody can get inside of him tonight. It's probably going to get around him now. Hopefully he'll be able to figure out whatever's causing that car its handling woes, but I definitely do believe he's having some issues here tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately so. And Kenny Powell right now in third, holding on to that position. Sean Signori a little bit ahead of him in the 7 car. That 7 is doing very well tonight, up 5 places. Powell not quite able to get off the bumper of Mark Sanchez behind him to close the gap on Signori to see if he can work with him to push him potentially up to Vincent Crowe.
Yeah, that means Powell got around Sanchez, so he proved himself to be the fastest car, at least at that point in the race. But now it seems that maybe Sanchez might have a little bit of something to say about it, kind of getting at his boss, saying, hey, boss, come on now, let me get up there. Let me lead this thing. I think I got the legs for it. And Kenny's like, no, not yet, Grasshopper. You just kind of hang out back there. Let Papa show you the way. That's a loose interpretation of what was going on.
Yeah. Here we go. On the inside right now. A little bit of a 2-wide situation back there. Kendall LeVron inside. Owen on the outside.
Same old story there. The only exception is the 2-car Kendall LeVron actually making it by the 44 and the 77. Definitely got something else on his mind. Remember, he did have the fastest time overall through qualifying. Did have to serve an end-of-the-line penalty. Has that out of the way now, and he has the front row back on his mind, and that is exactly the direction he has that thing pointed in front of him, though. The 45 is going to get a little bit low there. The 77 kind of got a little bit of a run. Jose Medina is going to be the deciding factor on this. Remember, he was having trouble going low. That's going to allow Paul Lewis to get down on the inside. Paul now getting the dominant position. He's going to be right down there, causing that 48 car to try to drive harder off the turn. They still going to be side by side here for a little while longer, Joe.
Yep, that's Bacon Zelenka in there with that shark-faced Air Force car. As Medina still struggles to get any lower because he cannot squeeze he cannot squeeze Zelenka. He can squeeze himself. That would be some impressive driving. He's got to squeeze Zelenka down the track, but Medina can't seem to get the clean pass now as they are side by side and have been for some time. Behind them, it's LeBron and Strunk side by side, but Strunk is going to fall back a little bit as LeBron is continuing to climb his way back up this chain.
Yeah, totally. Thank you for correcting me. I did have the 45 pegged at Paul Olsen, but it is indeed the 45 of Bacon Zelenka who is doing battle with Jose Medina. And we've been watching Bacon. Bacon has slid back into the frying pan here as of late here the past couple of 3 weeks. And he has definitely been doing what Bacon does best. You know, he is here. He gets a little greasy. He gets a little sticky on the fingers, but he always comes out on top. You know, he always comes off nice and dry and just leaves a salty taste in your mouth.
He's spitting.
Yeah.
That's it. Good bacon's got a little bit of spit to it when it's in the pan, and it'll sting you. And right now, Bacon Zelenka is demonstrating that namesake very well with that analogy. He has been one of the newer guys to Oval since he joined the ISCA, and he has been proving week over week that he has got what it takes to run with the big dogs here.
Yeah, indeed, doing this thing here tonight, man. We keep watching this thing bringing you uninterrupted coverage. So as long as these guys stay green and clean, we'll be right here, and we will not leave your side. Watch, the lights are starting to come on here and illuminating this track as the sun is going down in beautiful sunny Lebanon, Tennessee, just a little bit outside of Nashville. Kendall LeBron making his run all the way back up to the front, but right now you're looking at Bacon Zelenka, and he is going to be trying everything he can to get around Jeremy Clapper-Newell. I think that pass is all but in the books.
Yes, sir. Over and done. He did it nice and clean.
Yeah, definitely. Now we're watching that too, called Kendall LeBron, because right now he is kind of stuck behind the 48 and the 49. He needs to get around these guys because he is starting to feel that dissipation light's on, and we are officially halfway through this stage. So this is go time. If you're gonna truly try to make it work, you gotta distance yourself from the guys that are around.
Oh, here we go. Clapper-Newell's back. He's falling back hard. Something just happened there. He almost just put it into the nose of Strunk. Strunk narrowly avoids a collision with Clapper-Newell, who fell back. Not sure what happened, whether it was
I know what happened.
Yeah, what was it?
His tires were worn out, Bubba. He's got 20 laps on him now. Maybe ran them a little bit harder than he should have. That's what we were talking about the guys that not having a pacer. If you don't have a pacer, this is going to be the crappy part of the story for you. And maybe Clapper-Newell, right there, he is starting to find that. Now, finding it out and accepting it, two different things, Joe. And that's what you'll have sometimes. You'll have that guy still trying to be a little bit racy, not just understanding the full extent of his tire situation, and I think that's might have what happened. We'll be watching intently to see if he loses any more positions, so if he's actually able to keep that thing where he's positioned at right now, which just happens to be on the cut line, Joe.
That's right. I'm also going to be watching a little further ahead because Kenny Powell has made a pass for second. Sean Signori, though, wants to take it right back with a quick spinneroonie. And if he can get it, he's going to get second place right back from Kenny Powell. Wow, what a move. Powell with a dive to the inside, but now he's on the outside. He's got to work twice as hard to keep up that spot that he just lost to he just took from Sean Signori, And if he can hold on to it, Signori's going to cycle back in. There we go. And now it's Kenny Powell in second.
Yeah, Kenny Powell definitely having the type of points night that those guys need. Remember last week we talked about it, we harbored on it. Kenny Powell, totally crap point situation for him. So he is definitely going to need to have some solid rounds tonight. Make us some, as I'll quote Brian Britt, man, he's got to make hay while the sun's shining. He has got to come out here tonight. They've got to have a solid run. They cannot afford to miss out on those key opportunities. Only 4 drivers tonight. 4 drivers not going to be getting the bacon as we go through these stages, and Kenny can't afford to be one of those guys.
That's a good way to put it, my friend. It's a very good way to put it, as right now things are more or less smooth. We've got Jose Medina, though, on the outside of Ryan Strunk. A little 2 wide situation going on in the 8th and 9th spots. Medina up to the wall.
Yeah, remember the 77 has been slowly clawing his way up, and the 48 has been having a hard time trying to hold his position down on the inside. The more he tries, he has been actually sliding high. So now he's going to have to do everything he can to keep that 77 car. Well, I don't know. I don't know where he wants him, but that's what he's got to make that decision now, because I guarantee you, wherever the 77 tries to go to get around him, the 44 will try to do the same. And Jose, he too cannot afford to get thrown out in the wash. He has got to also have himself a strong points race here tonight as well.
And we got a battle for second heating up here. Sean Signori right now is in front of Kenny Powell by about a half a car, now by about a whole car. Signori's going to slide up the field. Nope. Kenny Powell's going to say, all right, that battle's over for me. And he's going to slide back in behind Signori, changing positions yet again, so that Sean Signori is back in second place, up 5 from where he started tonight. Looking pretty good, though. This little battle for second has been going on and heating up. These guys have been trading positions left and right over the course of the last couple laps. We're on lap 27, folks. We're looking for 40 for stage 1. We're over halfway there right now. If you've got a pick for tonight's race, if you're just joining us, go ahead and throw it in the chat or just say hello. We'd love to hear from you. Either way, we're going to keep eyes on things here as we keep going around and around and around at Nashville Super Speedway.
Yeah, definitely liking that battle we got going on between the 49 and 24. Wait, who is that?
49 is
49 is, yeah, he is going in the battle right there with Greg Wachinski. This is the battle here for the cut line. So this is the battle for 10th place. Wachinski trying to get around Clapper Newell. Remember, Clapper Newell started struggling. Wachinski makes contact. Clapperwell still right there on the inside, not giving him an inch. This is where the accident's going to happen. Wachinski's going to drive it back down low, but you gotta believe he caught Clapper Newell, and he is not happy right now with what is going on. You can definitely cut that down as a blocking situation.
You definitely could. Wachinski with the contact to Clapper Newell. It's going to happen again here. It's going to be potentially a situation where we will have some wrecking. No, contact in. There it goes. Clapper Newell's around. He's sideways. Clapper Newell's sideways. And here comes Jay Horn to the back. 3 cars are down.
There is
involved in that wreck.
There is no way. And right now, I want to know exactly what was going on with Jeremy Clapper Newell. We're going to call him up here in the booth, and we're definitely going to, because there's no better way to get a perspective of what would be going through someone's head to do that than actually call the man up himself. I mean, all of that for 1 point.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and bring him up here. I hope that he's in the talking mood. All right, Jeremy Clapper Newell, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
That was a situation you just went through on the road. Can you tell us a little bit about what was going through your mind there?
I was just running my line, and he tried to go between me and the wall.
Yeah, it was. You didn't feel like have you felt anything out of your tires at all? You're pretty sure that the confidence was fully there, and then it looks like Wachinski was just not giving you the space, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an unfortunate situation. Sorry you got caught up in that. But we just wanted to check in with you and see what was going on. See how you thought about that. See what you thought about that situation. So hope you get back on the track very, very soon. You're with was it with Straight Arrow Racing? Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let you get your mind back on the road and focused on that. But we just wanted to check in and see what your perspective was on things. So thank you for your time and good luck with the rest of your race.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Man, they must have the good stuff down there in their pit stall, because I want what he's smoking if he thinks that's what happened. Because I'm going to tell you what, when we get called to call the race, and I'm sitting here watching the race, and as I told you guys, and you know what, I might get canned for this one, but I really don't care. We called this before it happened, and I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. It's not what he said happened. What happened was he was literally trying to fight for a position that wasn't his. He was battling for a point. And he made a point. Point taken.
I'm going to disagree. When I looked at that from the other way, it looked like Wyszynski didn't have room on the inside, and potentially he just drove right through it. It was hard to tell. I need to see it again, to be honest.
Yeah, that happened before that incident's what I'm saying. Lights off on the pace car and lights on the pace car, if you can believe that. The ones up top are off, the ones on the front are on, and we're doing our thing here. Got them doubled up. Pace car is going to be getting away, and remember, that was the third point. You got to watch out for those short track tempers, because that's the kind of thing that happens here. You got two guys battling for position. Had to even got the commentators a little caught up in that, man, because sometimes, you get caught up in the moment, man. Let us know what you think. Pace cars is going to be getting off in the way, and we're going to be getting back to some racing. That was the actual first caution that we had here tonight, which is actually pretty good. Didn't see any takers on pit road, which I like that. Further back in the pack, though, we did see that. Definitely might come into play here, Joe. We'll see how it shakes out.
Yes, sir. And with the lights off, we're going to get things started here very soon, folks. We're on lap 32, looking for 40 again before we get the next yellow, and we scrunch up yet again. Going through 3 and 4 right now. Looking for that Nashville Super Speedway 4 sign on the wall. There goes the pace car. Here comes the restart zone. Vincent Crowe and Sean Signori right now on row number 1. Going to kick things off here again on the ISCA Super Cup Series. There it is. We are green yet again. Pretty decent launch. Nope, not quite. Signori is going to fall back a little bit as Vincent Crowe moves forward, and Kenny Powell secures his spot in second.
Powell going high right there is going to lose that second spot. It's going to be in danger of losing more as Kendall LeVron comes down on the inside. Remember, he was almost a starting part, but just to the back of the field. Now he's back up, moving in the third. Powell going high. Definitely those cold, good years, not feeling pretty confident up here as he now goes back down on the inside to prove the point. Here he comes. He's got the 45 of Bacon. He is lining them up. He is assessing these guys, seeing who's going where, and I guarantee he's going to follow. Right now he's going to stay low, following the 24 Kenny Powell. Kenny LeVron, though, going to try to come down, close the door. There he does. Now this is a single file battle, but it's going to be a big one because we only got 5 laps to go in this stage at the line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Powell right now leading LeVron. LeVron wants to make that pass. He could use more points on the stage if he could get them. So he's going to try to make that pass, maybe on the outside here, maybe on the inside, but I think that his eyes are going to be, he's looking for the opportunist move. As behind LeVron, Bacon Zelenka is holding on to the fifth place, and Jose Medina was just signaling for a spot on Bacon Zelenka. So we'll see how these guys are, who are really chomping at the bit to catch up to Sean Signori and Vincent Crowe. We'll see how things sort out as we got only 4 laps left, as we mentioned, before we are done with stage 1.
Yeah, definitely. Surprised more guys didn't actually come down. Maybe risk it for a set of tires. You got an extra set there. I don't think that'll happen if we see another caution like that in the end of the stage, because I think guys are going to realize just how valuable these stage points are.
That's right. They're very valuable. We just saw earlier when we looked at the cup points that this could be a chance for a bit of a change to the ecosystem here in ISCA, and those stage points all add up toward it. Right now, Jose Medina makes the pass on Bacon Zelenka for 5th, but it looks like it's going to fall back yet again here as Bacon Zelenka is in 6th, and Jose Medina is way up on the outside. Zelenka is going to come back, take the spot from Medina. These two are going back and forth right now.
Yeah, Mark Sanchez is also going to throw his hat in the ring on this. He's going to be wanting to follow Bacon Zelenka. He's going to be wanting to get that inside line while the 48 is washed high. He's been trying to cut down on the inside. Jose Medina tried to bend it back. Not enough, though, coming across that Geico restart zone. Now Jose is probably feeling a little bit of that stress right there because, guys, guess what? Just like that, we're almost done. 2 laps to go before this one's in the books here for stage 1, and there ain't a whole lot more left to give. Watching your leader right now on your screen, still watching that 48 car Jose Medina, but there's your leader, though. He is definitely out to a comfortable lead. He has got Signori chasing him, but just right where he probably wants him to be. I don't think he's really in any pressure or stress now. Just 2 more times around and he'll be okay. Now we're sliding back, and here's where it gets interesting. You see the 29. He is sneaking himself up in behind. Right now, just following Bacon Zelenka. He has got his GNG teammate, the 24 Kenny Powell, pushed to the outside. these guys are going to be trying to get around Powell. This battle right here is going to be for what looks to be 4th place. This is in the top 5. Powell falls back to just that top 5. He's been wanting to get his head straight real quick because he's got LeBron and crew. They're coming down on him, but the 29, he is still doing his thing. They're getting around the outside, making it happen. Him and Bacon Zelenka side by side. This is for 3rd place. I called Sanchez on the podium, but I didn't call it through all 3 stages. But here he is trying to make it happen. As stage 1 gets around Bacon Zelenka, and now he has solidified himself a spot in the P3, but we got a car, Randy Drumhiller, though. I believe he was going down around the inside. That sounds like a bad nursery rhyme. That 44 car is going to bring out the caution. We're going to see exactly what took place. I see the 49 car back on the racetrack. He is in big whoop. So somewhere between those two, something went real bad quick. Joe?
I think that might have actually been the stage caution at lap 40. So I think that Drumhiller going down to the inside was just a single car situation. I don't think that's going to be the. I think that the flag might have either been at the exact same moment, or it wasn't enough when Drumhiller went down there. Yep, 1 bump, 2 cars, both back in control.
Okay, I got a little excited there.
It's all right. It was a good bump.
Indeed it was, man. Indeed it was. Thank you, Joe, for clarifying that. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, stage 1, Vincent Crowe, he's your stage 1 winner. San Signori 2, Mark Sanchez in 3rd, Bacon Zelenka 4th, Kenny Powell top 5, Jose Medina 6th, Paul Osen 7th, 8th place, Ryan Strunk 9th place, Kendall LeVron, and Randy Drumhill rounds out the top 10 with the stage 1 in the books. We're going to take a step away, get a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back with Vincent Crowe in stage 2.
All right, we're back, folks, and we are in the booth with Vincent Crowe, your stage 1 winner. Vincent, how's it going after that stage 1 win? Very dominating win.
It was a good start. Kendall had an EOL from an incident last week, which last week his incident benefited me with a stage win, and this week it did it again. So I love you, Kendall. I appreciate the 2 stage wins.
2 stage wins up, 2 stage wins down, and now you're leading things off here with Sean Signori. He's been in your rearview mirror for most of this, battling things out for 2nd place. You think he's going to have any heat to catch you up, or you feel confident in the vehicle tonight?
I feel really good with the car. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do super long run, but I knew the car was good. I knew that I had a good chance tonight. If I minded my P's and Q's, maybe I can sweep all the stages. I just want to win. I just want to win. I can't win. I haven't won anything. I need to win.
Well, you need to win. I hope that you win tonight, my friend. I may have picked somebody different. I won't say who. You'll have to go back and watch the broadcast to see. But I will say that now I might shadow change my pick. So I hope that you do well for the rest of the race, my friend, and good luck. Anyone you want to shout out to real quick?
Nope, we're going green.
Good luck. There he goes. Perfect timing there as we're ready, and they're getting ready to go green. There's the Geico restart zone, and Vincent Crowe, fresh off the phone with us in the broadcast booth, is now back on the pedal.
Wasted no time getting back on that pedal either. And he pressed the loud pedal. He pressed it quick. He kind of muted us and just booted that one, and man, and look at him go. Mark Sanchez not getting the best start of all as he is slowly drifting back into the pack. And I bet you that is not by design, as this stage is going to be shorter than the first. This is going to be the one where guys are going to let their hair kind of hang. You're going to see if those adjustments that you made in stage one are correct as you get ready to boot her up here and go for two. Speaking of going for two, side by side between Kendall LeBron and David Gervais. That's a good battle on two accounts, because Gervais and LeBron started way back in the back of this thing. So now to see that both of those two drivers are back up here in the hunt and in the front is definitely awesome. The 29 car going to be high on the 77. Orion Strunk, that's Mark Sanchez, going to be doing everything that he can to try to get around the 77. 77 is going to be low. And now it doesn't look like the 29 is going to be able to actually close that in. We'll continue to watch that. But further back, there goes the 24. He's going to be coming down on the inside of the 44. You also got the 48 giving chase to the 88. Almost a 3-wide situation brewing right there, but looks like everything's going to be okay. Kenny Paul's going to come down low. I believe that's the 5 of Greg Wachinski. He's going to be behind as Wachinski squares up side by side to the 44. But other than that, everybody else seems to be single file racing, and that's what you want to see, especially this early in the stage.
That's right. You mentioned this is early in the stage, but it is a shorter stage overall than what we've been dealing with so far. So that shorter stage is going to mean that these guys are going to be racing a little bit harder than they might have been racing in the first stage, and definitely than they will be in the third stage. So right now, let's see how things are going for some of these guys further up and down the field. Things are fairly single file until you get back to about the Greg Wachinski, Randy Drumheller area, where these guys are battling it out with Kenny Powell right behind, trying to make some positions up. I think Powell had a bit of a slow time on pit road there. He had one of the longer pit stops on in terms of being on the pits. So he's still on the lead lap, I believe, but he's just a little bit behind in that regard. He was pretty far up, you might recall, when we ended stage one. I forgot exactly where he was. I think he was third when we ended stage one, but now he is sitting comfortably in 12th, and will have to work a little bit harder to work his way back up the field here, as he now makes the pass on Randy Drumheller, or he's trying to. Let's see if that 24 can make that pass. Up a little ways. Looks like Jose Medina is also in a battle right now with Ryan Strunk on his inside.
Yeah, battle indeed. He actually did cut off the nose of the 77 there. As those two kind of got themselves in a little bit of a struggle for position. Looks like that's going to be worked out now. So 77 is going to come up on top of that one. Now he is going to continue running himself. Ryan Strunk definitely got to be feeling pretty good. Right now, he is currently in 5th place. Started this thing back in 13th. That means he's our biggest mover so far of the night. It doesn't seem like he is going to be stopping. Still seems like he is trying to better himself. Now, he's going to have that 2-car Kimmel Ron in front of him. That's definitely going to prove to be a little bit more of a tricky situation, especially as we get down towards the end of this stage here. Just right now, looking like we got 18 laps, just under 20 laps to go in the stage. So we will consider that to be about go time, Joe.
And right now, I want to point out that actually Sean Signori made a pass on lap 47 for the lead, and is currently leading the race now with Vincent Crowe right behind him. We're literally right behind him. But Sean Signori is now in the lead of tonight's race.
Definitely going to be appreciating that, because that's going to be his first time leading the show here this evening.
That's right. Ooh, looks like
he might. Sean.
Yeah, he's doing good right now out in front, but he might have a little bit of an extra challenge from Vincent Crowe, who just was about side by side, 1-to-1 with him. Let's see if he can hold on to it, though. If he can hold on to this lead, because Crowe is dogging him right now.
And you know what Vincent's going to say, too. I mean, he wants to win. This is his time. This is his turn. He has earned this. So And he didn't just want to let Signori get by, and you can believe he's going to do everything in his power to kind of get back up there just to be, just be resilient, to be relevant. He has to. So don't look at this as a definitive pass. Just look at this as a part-time pass.
Gotcha. A part-time pass it is. Well, there's some part-time passing going on potentially a little further back, too. Once again, that group of Clapper Newell and Powell, they're at it again. Powell is on the inside of Clapper Newell this time. Clapper Newell's had a bit of a slide going on. I've noticed his slip angle in his car is just a little extreme, a little fluctuating here and there.
No way. You sure?
Just a bit. It looks like the car is just wiggling into turns a little more than maybe I'm seeing other cars. Just a little bit more of a, like, I can see the back wheel of the car. I'm watching the rear chase camera right now. I can see the back wheel of the car while I'm looking at the car head on. So maybe there's something to that.
You think so?
Yeah, I'll stake something on it. I'm willing to be wrong, though. I mean, that's all I got. But in this case, watching Clapper Newell, something is causing him to just not quite have the grip on the turns or that momentum through the turns that it's getting him it's getting him in a position where he's being taken advantage of. Right now, he's falling back 4 positions. Paul Olson now is looking to make a pass on him, and I'm wondering if this is just from the damage, maybe from the wrecking, or is this he just got tires, but. Yeah, I'm wondering what exactly is going on here, unfortunately, with that situation.
You really wondering?
No, Big Al, I don't know. You tell me. You keep asking me questions. Give me some answers, buddy. Come on.
Man, I don't know. It's just a lot. He did have an extended
Feed me
stay
something,
there.
Big Al. Give me some substance.
He did have an extended stay behind the wall. Definitely 56.3 seconds in the box. I can guarantee you that was repairing damage. Wachinski, 69.4 seconds. So, that lets you know that those two guys probably had damage. And I ask you the same question I would have asked him. Was it worth it? Was that whatever you call it for, 10th spot worth it for him? Because it cost him a lot more than he gained. Both of those two guys ended up missing out on the transfer point anyway, and they, ended up spending almost a minute behind the wall respectively. So that just goes to say, your racecraft. That's something that you have to develop as well. And winners have that. Guys that are up front, you don't get up front by making bad choices. That's all I got. Unquote.
It's a good quote, and you're right. You don't get up front by making those kind of bad choices. Right now, Signori's up front, and he's making some pretty good choices so far, and that's been holding on to the front of the race for him. Him with Vincent Crowe now. Crowe is still only about a car length behind him, and behind him, that's Benkin Zelenka. But then you've got a gap of about a second and a half between Zelenka and Kendall Levron. Now, Levron was... theoretically, though, he was the pole position sitter tonight before the end of line penalty at the beginning of the race, pushed him at the back of the pack. But now Kendall Levron is back up to 4th place after a yellow, after a restart. So he is really, really charging.
And Kendall definitely was up. He had already made up a lot of ground, but all of that comes at a premium. And he ran, he ate up a lot of tire trying to get up to the front there. He spent 63 seconds in the box, which kind of negated all of those positions that he had kind of picked up. But you remember, you saw that 44 car. He kind of took a bounce off of the 2 car there right at the end of the stage, and I think maybe that's what cost him the most. So he's definitely going to be wanting to try to get up front and out of the crazy traffic.
Crazy traffic is a good way to put it. Right now, there's not too much crazy traffic going on. We've got Levron and Sanchez very close to each other right now. Mark Sanchez potentially trying to make use of that situation and get around there, but it's only 6 laps to go to the end of the stage. So with those 6 laps left, Sanchez is going to have to make a move to get any further up than 5th place where he is right now, and that opportunity looks like it's presenting itself to him right now. But I'm not sure if his car has got the oomph or the moxie right that it needs to make that pass right now on Kendall Levron, who has really been driving hard ahead of him.
Yeah, Kendall definitely has been driving hard. He had to drive hard to get to where he's at. So Sanchez, I'm looking, and he only spent 13.9 seconds in the box, which means he's got a relatively healthy car. So at this point in the stage, Mark just wants to be smart and be Mark. He doesn't want to take any chances. Here we go, 3 wide right here, further back in the pack, the 48, the 24, and the 88. I don't know what kind of math that is, but it kind of works out almost, but not entirely. Geez, take me back to North Carolina, please. I want to ride the short bus again. The 88 of David DeFace, here he comes, though. He is going to be high around the outside. The 48 is going to go high with him, and the 24 is going to try to make 24 go in the 48, and he definitely did at least once. Now the 48 is going to do some division of its own.
Ooh,
and man,
yeah.
that is just they just added words to math, and that's why I quit doing math.
Yeah, that is an ugly situation mathematically or any way you want to slice it. Right now, Kenny Powell is in the middle of that situation. He almost got into the back of that 88 car of David Gervais, but Powell is moving defensively now, trying to hold on to the place he's carved for himself, back up to 7th from where he started, a little bit further back in the pack after that restart on lap 40. We've been keeping it pretty clean since then, folks, and we are approaching lap 70, where we will once again accordion things down into a nice stack of 14 cars. Well, 13 cars at this point. Jay Hone has stepped away from the field. So we've got 13, lucky 13 on the field, with David Gervais making the pass right now on Greg Wyszynski.
We need Greg
Wyszynski.
Greg cannot be in here. He's not even the right kind of variable. I mean, he's a 5. He doesn't even work here, man. We got the 48 goes into the 88, the 88, the 24, the 24 goes into the 48. I mean, it all works, but then you throw the 5 into the mix, and now all of a sudden it's like putting salt in my Kool-Aid. It just ain't working. Come on, Greg, figure it out. Now, big gap going there between the 48 and the 5 car. As Jose Medina is on the move, and Jose is feeling pretty good. He is in 8th place. This is what these guys need. These are the points nights that they need, and especially with this being the white flag here of stage 2 lap, everybody's definitely feeling good, and this is probably going to end a lot better than stage 1 did, because guys will actually be able to just get tires and fuel and go back out here to finish stage 2. Waiting on that 10th car to come across the line next time by, and that's going to be it. And I'll tell you why. Here we come. 7 getting it done all the way around. Still got a little bit of a challenge there between the 5 and the 44. Also got one looks like here between the 45.
Up front, the 47 and the 45, very close right now.
Looks like Bacon's going to get it.
By a nose after a little bit of contact, too.
All right, that's it. Stage 2 in the book. Sean Signore, your stage 2 winner. Bacon Zelenka, P2. Vincent Curlin, 3rd. Kendall LeVon, 4th. Ryan Strunk comes across in 5th. Mark Sanchez, 6th. 7th place, Kenny Powell. 8th place, Jose Medina. Greg Wyszynski in 9th. And Randy Drumhiller rounds out those top 10 point spin positions. We're going to take a step away, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Yep, I got him right here. And we are back with continual coverage here after stage 2 was done in the books. Joined in the booth by none other than Mr. Sean Signori. Sean, this is Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, I do. How you guys doing?
Man, better than you. Tell us about what's going on down there, man. It looks like you guys are just down there just kind of, some people are just kind of having fun, but it looks like some guys are really, really busy. You look like one of the guys that's having fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun tonight for sure.
Yeah, I mean, what is that? Does that just mean that the setup is right, that everything is lined up? I mean, because you just seem to be in the office closing deals while some guys are like locked out. So what's going on?
You know, the setup does feel really good, and we're all running different setups tonight up front, so it's kind of a, give and take on who's quickest at which point in the run. I just had a pedal issue, so I had to go to the back to recalibrate my pedals, so it's going to be a little bit of a show from here on out.
Well, now, what do you mean a show? Does that mean you're getting ready to lay down some marks here? You're going to put down some, what's going on?
No, I'm just saying I got some cars to pass now, so at least from my seat, it's going to be a little bit of a show.
All right, boss. Well, I'll tell you what, congratulations to you there for your Stage 2 win. We're going to let you get back at it. Who you going to shout out for your Stage 2 win?
Oh, man, I'm going to shout out my boy Steven, man. He's my another teammate of mine. He built the setup, and it's pretty damn quick.
All right, boss. We'll let you get back to it. Good luck getting back up to the front.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
You too. That was Sean Signori, your Stage 2 winner. Like you said, he had to kind of fall back, make some calibration changes to his pedals. That put him back. Pace car's got us doubled up. He's going to be getting down and out of the way here, Joe, and we're going to be getting ready to go boogity, boogity, boogity for one last time here. Stage 3 is underway.
That's what we like to see. Let's get that boogity, boogity, boogity going on here very soon with Vincent Crowe and Bacon Zelenka out in front. Here it is. We're green yet again here on the ISCA Super Cup Series, with Vincent Crowe launching out in front, Zelenka right behind him. Pretty good start from those two. Kenny Powell's going to rotate up into fourth place right now, with Ryan Strunk in third. Back in fifth, it's Mark Sanchez holding on to that spot as we get ready to go into 3 and 4.
Oh, wow. I was just looking at a little bit of a catastrophe take place, and I was like, whoa, the 48's into the wall. That's not what I said, though, but that's actually what just took place. But before that, it just looked like hair, teeth, and eyeballs just all over the place. And I was like, I zoomed in, and I got a better look at the numbers, and I was like, yeah, I got it. The neighbors are at it again.
The neighbors are at it again. Up here at the front, Crowe and Zelenka have straightened things out a little bit. Strunk has got eyes on making a pass on Powell if he can. He's probably the closest to doing so, if possible. Back a little ways. Mark Sanchez just about a car length and a half behind Strunk. He's got a little bit more trouble behind him with Drumhiller and Gervais tight in the 3-car run. Before we get back to the only 2 wide position that we got right now, Sean Signori out there with Kendall Levron way on the inside, and then Greg Wachinski cycling back. So Signori, previous winner of the stage, looks like he had a bit of a long pit stop, and now he's back out, and he's making his way back up to the top.
Yeah, man, a lot of racing left to go here, and I think some of these guys are just starting to figure that out now, because you are the fire department when it comes to this, meaning that you are the only one that can control how hot this gets, meaning you're the one that controls how much heat gets into your tires. You're the one that controls your pace, and you got to start doing that now. You cannot come out here and effectively run with other people. You can, but it's going to take your strategy, throw it out the window. We haven't had enough cautions by in which that we could say that, okay, we're probably going to have another caution instead of a green flag pit stop. Guys are going to have to start building that strategy from the point that they last pitted to the next time that they pit, and assume that that's going to be under green flag conditions, man, and that's going to be everything. So I think right now that's what we're postured to see and we're just going to see how that affects the guys that are down there on the track, because track temps are changing, attitudes changing, tempers changing. You were mad at the guy, now you're not mad at that guy. Now you just got to concentrate on driving your car. I mean, there's so many things have changed in the dynamic, but one thing hadn't changed. Vincent Crow, he's still out front, still leading this thing, and he's going to enjoy that. But Sean Signori, he has just moved up another spot, so Sean's back in lucky sevens across the board there. The 7 cars in the seventh position. He qualified 7th. I mean, it's all there. It's all lined up. So that's the winner tonight.
Right now, that's his lucky number for sure.
Well, it took
as the 7th car moves up to the 6th place spot. Here we go with Sean Signori now making another move, potentially making the move to the 5th place spot. There he goes. Up 2 places now from where he started tonight's race. Back up to 7th. Very, very good. Randy Drumhiller on the inside. He's going to cycle back in behind the 29 of Mark Sanchez. Behind Drumhiller, they're 2 wide with Kendall LeVron and David Gervais. Gervais on the inside, LeVron on the outside. LeVron, one of our fastest racers as well. He's got some speed. He's got to make up, try to get up to where Signori is, get back up to the top. But he's going to put it door to door with Gervais. Going around at the end of the tri-oval into 1 and 2. Oh, contact! Contact! LeBron's around, but they're going to hold on to it. No, he's not! He's not going to hold on to it. He spins it, and he taps Jeremy Clapper Newell just a little bit.
Oh, wow. That was... Oh, Clapper Newell still stuck in the dryer. Caution flags out, man. This is just
that was
ugly.
It's Jose Medina was involved. Clapper Newell got tapped. What could have been a great save turned into a great depression.
Yeah, Greg Wojcinski, though, the only one coming out of that thing really beat up truly. He's the only one with a dreaded repairs required flag. None other have been issued. We'll be watching to see how this thing unpacks itself. But it seems like the 2-car pedaled out of it. I mean, him and the 88 just kind of get washed up here going into the turn. And it looks like the 2 pedal. Right there, he kind of comes back. Everything's almost right where it needs to be. The tail's following the nose, and then all of a sudden, nope, not going to happen. And you see he comes down right there, gets that clip of the 49, who goes a straight shot into the wall. And that hurt him, but right there you saw that car fly by on 2 wheels. That was none other than Greg Wojcinski, and I think that just really kind of threw a rattlesnake in his cockpit.
Yeah. Yes, it did. Here's Wojcinski's point of view on that situation. There's the 1. There's the 2. Literally, here comes the 2 now. Wojcinski, with nowhere to go, is going to end up eating the side of Gervais's car there. The 88 going up on 2 wheels.
Oh, that just might be a total. He might be okay.
Came down hard on the other 2 wheels once he was done, but he is the only one. I'm surprised that Clapper Newell did not get a meatball on that one.
Yeah, he's got the Lord with him.
Yeah, he's riding passenger. So in this case, it looks like Greg Wojcinski's back. Jeremy Clapper Newell, Jose Medina, David Gervais, and Greg Wojcinski all down pit road right now with Kendall LeVron, our previous pole position holder. Or at least our number 1 qualifier, I should say that. He got an end-of-line penalty, so I don't know if that officially makes him the pole position sitter anymore. I got to look that up. But in this case, Kendall LeVron, those 5 racers are sitting now off the course, and they are going to be repairing for some time, which means we have got 8 racers as things remain still on the track, going around and getting ready to get things kicked off here. We still are not quite... Yep.
These guys got to be trying to boogie off of pit road, because the one thing they got to try to do is stay on the lead lap. You see the 2 cars off and away. We'll be waiting to see who else is going. There's the 48's rolling. So that means the 88 and the 5, for whatever reason, the 5's going to go 2 laps down now. The 49, he's not budging, and the 88's going to stay put as well. So that tells us a lot what's going on with those 3 drivers. It's just letting us know that the damage to their vehicles is significant enough that they're going to fall another lap down apiece. All right, lights off on the pace car, 1 green. Field's not back where it's supposed to be. Seems like we're really short here this year at Thanksgiving. I mean, ain't nobody gonna be here to pass some mashed potatoes. Come on, guys, let's go. We can do this. Got to try to make this more than a 5-car show through the end. Now that caution coming out when it did, that's going to change a lot of things. What's our fuel run window here?
85 laps, I believe.
85 laps. Now, if you do the math, that's going to still be way short of where we need to be. So
that's right.
They
got at least one more stop in it. There's the green flag, folks. We are green yet again here. Lap 87 right now of 193. So we still have a ways to go. We are almost to the end of the triple digits in these laps.
Yeah, still 2 cars behind pit road. That's going to be the 5 and the 88. Greg Wachinski, David Gervais. Mark Sanchez gets the nod there in a solid start, as he is now leading Vincent Crowe for the first time tonight. Sanchez up front. Solid qualifying run for the 29 crews. They started in third, sorry. Slap me around, guys. I'm just behind the Powerbird. I'm behind the power curve tonight. Jeez.
It's all right.
I don't know. Me and Noka speak English.
Oh, you do it just fine, Big Al. Right now, though, let's see how things are standing. We do have some wild situations going on here for the lead. Mark Sanchez is in the lead right now, but Vincent Crowe wants that spot back. Crowe on the outside, he's going to take it. Kenny Powell wants some of that as well. Powell not quite able to make the pass against Sanchez. Sanchez holding on to that inside groove a little bit. He's going to slide it up to the wall, going to keep the block on Powell. Powell's looking for the inside, though. Can he get it? There goes the dive of the 24. He wants that inside spot. He wants second place. He's going to take it from Mark Sanchez. Ryan Struck's going to go with him, and Sean Signori pokes his nose into the top 5.
Signori continues his quest to be back up front here. Sanchez slowly starts a new quest to go backwards. Not sure what's going on with that. He's going to have the 45. Bacon Zelenka closing in on him as well. Signori wasting no time trying to get up front here. Even going to make it too wide. I don't think he is going to slow down. I think he's going to try to get up front, make his move now while his tires are fresh. That's the only way that he is going to have any shot at controlling Vincent Crowe, and that is getting Vincent Crowe now. You know, the longer he waits, the worse it's going to be. The 88 car, David Gervais, back onto the racing surface. He is going to be the next car the leaders come in contact with, and that could potentially, I don't know, cause some issues. Maybe not. But I guarantee you this, it's not going to be easy to get around the 88 if he continues. Oh! They won't have to. Ignore it hard into the wall. Caution's going to come out. That's going to be your 3rd unscheduled caution, 4th overall for the night. Wait, I could be wrong. Maybe 5th. 5th caution for the night. Going to have to unpack this one here, as you saw Mr. Signori just lose it just a little bit.
What a crash. Oh, let's see that one again.
This goes out here, and he's out of control right there. You see the butt end goes back, and then he catches it, but here comes the snap. And once that snap occurs right there goes the nose to the door to 24, to the front of the 77. Ryan Strunk just can't seem to get his Cracker Jacks box open tonight, but nobody else seems to be damaged any more worse than we were. So that means everybody can continue.
That's what we want to see. Let's just keep on keeping on.
Yeah, once she starts to drift on you like that, I mean, it's different than drift cars. You know, drift cars, they go left, they go right, and you can kind of keep that tail end out there. But
yeah,
but these cars they're not built like that. Eventually, she's going to come back around, get straight, and snap. And when she does, well, you know, it's like a divorce in Oklahoma. Somebody's going to lose a trailer.
And the lights are still on the pace car as we've got another pit stop or two here for a few cars. Paul Olson's Sean Signori is still getting repairs. Jose Medina sitting there on pit road as well.
We're
I
having
guess he was caught up
problems.
again. Really unlucky day for Medina.
Yeah, it's only unlucky if he's behind the wall. I'm seeing him, and he's still somewhere out there in a competitive spirit. He's in 9th, right? Yeah. So go Jose. He's still in the top 10. He's good. You have that many problems and tribulations, and you're still in the top 10. Yeah, man. Way to go. Hold on, Jose. You know, Copper Newell and him are going to be jockeying for that 10th spot position because, you know, your carry on tonight is either you got a top 10 or you're just quiet. You know what I mean? You say, oh yeah, I was in the top 5, or you say I got a podium, or you say, hey, I won that thing. But it all starts with top 10 or nothing, right?
Yes, sir. Also, the top 10 or nothing is the way you got to be driving the car.
Yeah, you're not going to say anything if you weren't in the top 10 tonight.
Exactly. Watching here, the lights are off in the pace car now. We're getting the things lined up again. Two columns, getting ready to go. Vincent Crowe, Kenny Powell out in the front. Right now, Kenny Powell on the outside, Vincent Crowe on the inside. Mark Sanchez and Bacon Zelenka behind them. Kick things off here in Nashville. We are almost to the 100th lap, which means after that we will have a paltry 93 laps to go after that. So stick it with us, folks. As you've seen, we've been keeping this race nice and exciting. So we've got more race to go. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you show your appreciation for the guys on the course. Here we go. The pace car is off. The restart zone is just ahead. And Vincent Crowe and Kenny Powell are going to hit the loud ones for us. We are green yet again here on the ISCA Super Cup Series, and there goes Vincent Crowe with a good blast out to the front. Kenny Powell now falls back side by side with Mark Sanchez, who's got a nose out in front for second place, pushing Powell back to third just barely.
Hey, a dismal start there for Kenny Powell. Definitely one of the worst restarts that we've seen here tonight, causing that entire top row to just go berserk. Bacon Zelenka having to go down low. Now you're watching the 2 car. Everybody's still trying to sort themselves out. It's going to be okay, but there's that 7 car. Remember him? He is still in the mix. Sean Signore back in 7th place again, trying to go ahead and erase all of the bad stuff that happened, getting him by the 44 car right in front of him. He's going to come by there. Clapper Newell kind of just checked up right there. Those 2 just kind of got a little touchy-feely. No, actually, sorry, that's Kendall LeVron. Once again, I'm wrong. I'm having a hard time watching the numbers here on these cars. Seems like I would know them. But Kendall,
That's all right, buddy. I'm still figuring them out myself.
Yeah, Sean Signore and Kendall LeVron there kind of maybe mixing it up a little bit, but no worse for wear, just a little contact. Now you still got the 77 and the 44. These 2 guys doing what they've been doing for the majority of the night, and that's both of them have been side by side with someone trying to best their position pretty much since the green flag flew. You know, and here they are right now, still not settled up just yet. 77 staying low, 44 going around high. And speaking of high, we're halfway through this mess already, you and me. Just when you didn't think we could, you know, you probably was thinking, man, this night going to ever be over. Yep, you made it halfway. So go ahead and pat yourself on the back. Take a drink, shake your legs, and just say you're still here.
That's right. Stretch it out a little bit. Got to get that stretch in. Remember, folks, it's important to do that. And it's something that these drivers can't do if in the real life. Obviously, it's a grueling event. You have to sit there for hours and hours and not be able to stretch your legs, I'm sure, and stretch your body. But take advantage of that if you can. Go ahead and get a glass of water. Sit up straight, back straight, head up if you're slouching, and remember to stay hydrated.
Yeah, I think Clapper Newell's also in VR, so that was one of the challenges he had with the last race we had, because it was a little bit longer as well. So, but man, tonight this stage right here is going to shake itself out. It's still going to be a long one. We're still got a great opportunity to have green flag pit stops. That has not been taken away from us, and we're still getting to see some good quality green flag racing as well. Vincent Crowe, though, well, he's out there just enjoying himself, maybe a little bit more than we would like to allow, but I'm sure that will get rewound some way, somehow. Mark Sanchez still running high around the outside. Sean Signori.
Best. It's not working out for Sanchez, though. You can see that right here. Oh. And then ahead of that, LeBron was just trying to make a position up. Couldn't quite do it. I think he's still waiting for a really good position to do that from Kenny Powell. Kenny Powell is sitting in third right now. And Kendall LeBron right behind him. He's getting a good push from Signori to try to make the pass on Powell. Let's see if he can. Up at the front, Bacon Zelenka is in second with a good car length or two distance between him and Kenny Powell. That little group of three back there, Powell, LeBron, and Signori, have been pretty fiercely battling for that third place spot. As we've cracked through 103 laps now, that means we have but, I believe, 90 laps to go.
Yeah, man, cracking that code. Still a little bit more than we can make on a tank of gas, but understand anything that happens past this point is going to do just that for us. It's going to get us to the place where we need to be in order to stop one more time.
That's right. That's right. And speaking of making a place to get to where we need to be, Signori's trying to make the pass right now on LeBron. Ooh, they're damn near door to door. Very, very close right now with LeBron and Signori as that 2 car and the 7 car are making friends there down on the inside. Let's see if Signori can hold on to the inside and with enough momentum, maybe make that pass.
You know, this is this is what we've been seeing a lot here tonight, guys, just with matched equal speed, not being able to best each other. You know, so they've been kind of like dragging each other through the corners, but for whatever reason, the 2 car is going to make it happen this time. He's going to go ahead and get around the 7, continue his quest, because Kendall LeBron's trying to get back up front also. Remember, he had the kind of the starting part situation, then he kind of got tangled up in a little bit of an accident, you know, so now he's back out there trying to just claw his way back up on the podium, if you will. He's got 1 spot left to do that. That's going to be best in the 24, Kenny Powell.
That's a good way to put it. And right now, he needs to make that pass, which means he needs to get some speed up. Kenny Powell isn't too far ahead, given how many laps we have left. A lot can happen in this amount of time, but on top of the pit stops that have to occur within the next about 60 laps or so. So we'll see how that gap tightens up a little bit, because we got no more planned yellows. This is it.
This is it. It's almost like that's a country song. That's a everything song. This is it. But that's definitely tonight's song. That's the swan song that's being played right now with 86 laps to go. Vincent Crowe in the lead, having a pretty good, comfortable lead, as he is going to be some 1.18 seconds over P2, which he's got to be feeling pretty good about. But then after that, the story changes. Everything after that is going to be all about patience, strength, and strategy. Bacon Zelenka still right now 2nd place, but he can't relax. He can't breathe. He's got the 24 coming up behind him, and the 24 rode in on a song. And you know what? There's still quite a few albums and DVDs left behind him as well. You got the likes of Sean Signore, Kendall LeBron, and Ryan Strunk, Mark Sanchez, also a strong suitor here tonight. All of these guys out here in the midst of this thing trying to make a name for themselves. I mean, it's going to happen. You know, somebody's going to be fortunate to win this thing that didn't win last week. That's definitely one thing we can say, right? Probably somebody that hadn't won in a while is going to win this thing tonight.
I think you're right. I think there's a very good chance of that. So let's see who we're going to be celebrating here in a couple of laps. About 83 laps. We're going to be celebrating one of these lucky drivers on the field. as it looks like Kenny Powell almost had the energy to make the pass on Bacon Zaleka there. But almost doesn't count here.
Yeah, indeed. These passes
Only
got to get
horseshoes and hand
complete.
grenades.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. In space travel.
Yes, sir. Crow has such a dominating lead right now. You know, I know that we asked him, you know, what do you think he got under the? You think he got under the hood to do this long run? And he said, I don't know, but here he is, doing a pretty good job of holding it down. I wonder though, is he burning up his tires too quickly? It looks like he's a little bit of a wiggle there out of 3 and 4, but not really sure what that means.
Well, at this stage in the game, it could mean any series of things, but they're still low in the pit run, only 29 laps. That's still far under what they did in the shortest run so far. So everybody should be happy about that. The next thing is, I do believe everybody's got plenty of tire sets behind the wall. So barring another caution, that's not even an issue. They got a set safe for that, so they should be able to run hard right now to try to get into their green flag pit strategies. Now that's where it's going to be a little bit concealed. Drivers aren't going to want to televise that. Not going to want to let everybody know when they're planning on coming down.
Yeah, with so few guys in the field, you might be able to spread that out, but I think you're going to know. People are going to see it happening.
Yeah, especially for Vincent Crowe, because he has such a lead right now. It's definitely going to be hard to conceal whenever he is trying to come down, and he is going to want to probably wait and let the rest of the field probably maybe come down before him, so he can kind of dictate himself when he goes instead of everybody else kind of waiting to see and dictate their stops off of his.
Yeah,
I don't think he wants to be the one to make that decision.
I don't think so either. I think he's going to have to work hard to not be that man. Here we are in the stretch. This is it, folks. That's the phrase. That's going to be the motto of the night. This is it. And if you are just now joining us, thank you for joining us here for the ISCA Super Cup Series. It is I think it was the Fall In 250? Is that what it was called? Fall In 250. Here we are with the Fall In 250 ISCA Super Cup Series. Glad to have everybody with us, joining us. If you are just joining us, welcome. If you were here from the beginning, welcome even more.
Yeah, and welcome back to those of you that keep coming back week in and week out, supporting us, supporting the crew. We couldn't do what we do without you, because even if we had 2 viewers, I mean, that we need those 2 viewers, right? So like, subscribe, follow, please support the team. I mean, we definitely appreciate all of the support that we can get. We appreciate you guys just bearing with us, man, just sitting here and listening to me and Joe just jack and you know, well, Joe most.
That's why I pay us the big bucks, buddy.
What?
That's why I pay. That's why.
What do you mean? What?
No,
You get paid for this?
Well, it's about the love of the sport, my friend. That's all. All about the love of the game.
Sansignore going around the 77 car, making this move there. 77 bumps him up high. Ryan Strunk's going to do what he can. At this point, you know, tires aren't as selective. They're just really kind of, they're more delegative. You know, they don't do what you ask them to do. Cars turn very hard, very slow, very arduous. And the 77 kind of felt that a little bit. Signore definitely, he's felt it. He has gone for a ride himself here tonight. 29 car Mark Sanchez holding firm there in 5th place, doing exactly what he wants to do, and that is continue to make pace and just be available, man, because if he keeps doing what he's doing, he could find himself on the podium here tonight. Slowly going to be pulling up onto the back end of Kendall LeBron. Kendall, super fast car. I mean, he was almost, he had the ELL, end of the line there to start this thing. Has been to the back of the field, come back up, gone back. Now he is sitting here, and Kendall's in 4th place. Definitely, he's cognizant of the fact that the 29 car is definitely in his rear view. He's on his relative, so that is probably causing him to not be as comfortable as he would normally be, as he is trying to do everything he can to close the gap between himself and the 24 car, Kenny Powell. But here comes Mark Sanchez. He's going to be down on the inside. 22 cuts off his nose. That's going to take but all of the momentum away from Mark Sanchez now. And he even hits the wall there as a result of just the wash-up. But now he's going to be dialed back in, trying to get his line back. You can watch his car as he really starts to point it in the right direction. And you see how these guys bend this. And now the 29 car is bending himself inside the 2 of Kendall LeBron. This is going to be one of these big passes right here. Should the 29 be able to hold on to it and make it happen?
I'm kind of hoping so. I bet he is too. Let's find out here as time passes. We'll see if so can the 29. Right now, that machine is on the inside trying his best to make that pass. He doesn't have the momentum, though. The 2 very close right now.
You know, one thing I got to say that Mark Sanchez is on. He's 20 lap older tires right now he has than Kendall LeBron. Kendall LeBron tires, actually the freshest tires in the fleet there next to Sean Signor. These two both having 33 laps. Sanchez 53, and then your top 3 leaders with 41 each. So whatever happens, Sanchez definitely is going to be excited when he does get a set of freshies. But the ones that he's got definitely are living their best years, if not good years, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And LeBron very sideways there for a second. Held on to it, though. Very close for LeBron. Almost outdrove himself. Put the car into danger.
He's been drifting a lot here tonight. That's one thing that we've definitely been watching, that 2 car. He's been fast, but at the price of being loose.
It's happening right now. It's happening again. I think it costs him a little bit every time. When he gets that little bit loose, it costs him a little bit. And that every little penny he pays, Sean Signori picks up.
Yeah, Signori right now coming back on the inside, not being able to make that pass happen. The 77 and the 44 car coming right back into the face as they always do.
Let's see if he's got that spot.
Indeed.
Oh, he hit him!
He got something.
Signori is in the 2.
Caution is in the air. You know, like love is in the air. And the caution is too.
That's rough. Oh, no. Let's take a look at that in the Wayback Machine and see what exactly caused that. But it looked like Signori just got up into him.
And you know what? That's going to change a lot of things, because with 65 laps to go, well within that green flag pit window, you're watching the 2 car. He gets out there kind of, and the 7 just washes up into him. Like I said, turning these cars right now at this point is really more like a suggestion. You know what I mean? You're just kind of asking if it would bend that turn for you. Still, Greg Wachinski, the only driver with the dreaded repairs required flag. Pit road's going to be super busy. This is going to be that last pit stop there. We're going to go ahead and take our step away and get a word from our sponsors here. We'll be back with this one and hopefully be able to wrap this one up.
Yeah, hopefully. Hey, we're back, folks, with the ISCA Super Cup Series Fallen 250. Be sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and be sure to follow along, as right now the lights are off on the pace car. We're going to get things kicked off yet again here with Vincent Crowe and Bacon Zelenka out in front, leading things as we get things restarted. Lap 131, looking for lap 193 to end things here. Let's see what happens.
Here we go. Through that Geico restart zone, Vincent Crowe's off and away. Bacon's going to go ahead and fall back in. Vincent be getting solid restarts all night. Bacon Zelenka now trying to put it back together. Mark Sanchez also getting the drive off pretty strong, as he's going to be holding the 77 at bay. But the storyline still read the same. The 47 of Vincent Crowe gets a solid start and a demanding lead once again going into the fourth quarter here tonight of the Fallen 250 at the Nashville Super Speedway.
Not bad, not bad, not bad. We've got almost a 3-wide situation, though, with Sean Signori right behind Jose Medina. Drumhiller on the inside there.
Oh, Randy. There's old Sean going to be down on the inside of old Randy, and they got old Jose sitting up high. I don't know what kind of horse race that is, but it don't usually end good. So Sean's going to get the drive to the inside. The 47 of Randy's going to go ahead and fall in, and Jose is going to be bringing up the rear to 44. He gets a little bit tight. Speaking of tight, there's the 77. He is down on the inside of the 29 of Sanchez, and the 45 just took the lead. So much going on right there in such a little bit of amount of the time. But look at Bacon go, got everything that he needs. Sanchez now, also, he is going to be trying to come up as he has got his GNG teammate, the 24, Kenny Powell's outside the 77, Ryan Strunk. He's going to close the door, and now everything's back like it was before, single file once again. Wow. That was a lot to unpack, Joe.
You're telling me. I'm trying to take a sip of my water here. While you were doing that, whew, I needed to clear my throat. That was a lot going on for sure. We got Bacon Zelenka in the lead now. This is the first time he's led this race, I'm pretty sure. Vincent Crowe in second, with the gap ever growing. Ryan Strunk in third, Sanchez fourth, Kenny Powell in fifth. Powell side by side with Signori right now. Signori wants that 5th place spot.
David Gervais making a move. He is going to be side by side. That's going to be him and Jeremy Clapper duo, I think. That's going to be a battle right there that we're going to have to keep our eyes on.
That's right. Clapper Newell back a little ways. Looking to see if he can get a little bit closer now.
Now, David is still he's being scored 4 laps down on my screen. Not sure if that's accurate, but I think I got to go with that. Yep, sure enough,
that's
he's
accurate.
4 laps down. Paul Osen sitting in that transfer spot there at the top 10. That's the one you want to be in. And after him, everybody else is +4. So Paul definitely going to have a solid night tonight, points and otherwise, because he has really been around the top 10 the whole night. We just hadn't been saying anything about it.
Yeah, that's true. And he's been holding on to that spot, really, just sort of riding at the back of the line a little bit, but he has avoided most of the wrecking. He has avoided a lot of the situations that have taken some other people off the track. So cheers to Paul Olson for keeping that one, keeping it going in tonight and just in it for the points, which is what you got to do.
There you go. Tonight's cold one is on Paul Olson. So we'll be drinking whatever Paul suggests, and I do believe that's going to be a Miller Lite. Paul being a diabetic, I'll go ahead and vouch for him. So tonight's drink of the night, drink of the race, it's going to be a Miller Lite on Paul Olson. Yeehaw. Giddy up.
You just love to see it. I wish I had a Miller Lite here right now. I'm not being paid to say that.
I think you've had enough.
Think I've had enough? Well, you're going to cut me off?
Yeah,
I can quit whenever I want.
Well, we'll just say this, that his mediocre job performance had nothing to do with his dependency on alcohol.
That worked for me. Ooh, big slide from the 88. 88 was sideways there for a second. Almost sideways. Very big slide. But he held on to it.
Yeah, Dave's been having a little bit of an interesting night. Definitely been exciting to say the least. And we're watching the 44 trying to do everything he can with the 48. And these two guys still racing for position there. That's going to be battling for what will be 7th place.
Trying their best.
Yeah, every one of these battles that we got going on is definitely going to be for money here tonight, because these positions are going to matter. I mean, we are coming down towards the end of the season as well, and eventually you're going to have to cut the fat, get rid of the guys that haven't been there, that haven't been performing, and you're going to get a whole new top 10. That's the only way you're going to crown a winner in this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there's got to be some kind of participation, where, you can't not have raced for 5 weeks straight. And so I'm just saying, you got to be moving down here, because you're going to find yourself in the points, regardless. Bacon got to be feeling pretty good, because right now he has got that 45 machine up in the lead. Vincent Crowe has been walking away with this thing for the majority of the evening, but right now Bacon has got a half a second lead, and he's got to be kind of enjoying that. Good to see that he does that.
I would say he would. I'd be enjoying this lead if I had the kind of lead he had there. He's got the kind of lead that Vincent Crowe had over the rest of the pack when Crowe was leading this. So it's been a bit of just a different name, similar lead, I guess, situation.
Yeah, indeed.
We'll see how the long stretch favors Bacon Zelenka as we get up to lap 144 now. That means we're less than 50 laps to go, folks. 49 to be precise.
50 laps to go.
With 49 laps up and down, we've had a hell of a race so far. A couple of greens, mostly green, a couple of yellows here and there, a couple of wrecks here and there, but we've still got most of the cars out on the track that started out tonight. So kudos to all the drivers in the ISCA who are here, putting it down tonight and battling it out here at Nashville Super Speedway.
Yeah, definitely. And thank everyone for tuning in, joining us here, as we've been really just kind of being drug along with this thing as well. seeing how it's going to end, and it's definitely been a long one. If you sit back and you think about how we started this thing and everything that's going on, and you look at where we're at right now, holy cow, some 6 cautions later, 2 for cause, 4 for not, and we're just as much glued to this as we were when the green flag first flew. We have no indication or inkling of who's going to win this thing, and the only way you're going to find out is by sticking it out with us. You could hit the fast forward button on that, but then I just sound Chinese. That ain't no fun. Come on, stick it out. Talk to us. Throw us something in the chat. Tell Joe that you wish he sounded more like me. I don't know. I think that's a good one.
Well, I can only get so close to perfect, Big Al. You know, I gotta stay away from the line a little bit, or else people start to get jealous. See?
Yeah, total line.
As best I can, my friend, as best I possibly can. Out here at the front. Now, I mentioned Bacon Zelenka had a lead that was like Vincent Crow's. I lied, because Vincent Crow has now caught up fairly well to Bacon, and he's putting the screws to him a little bit, kind of keeping him aware that there is someone here who wants to take his number 1 spot. So, Bacon, if you can hold on to that position without losing it too much, without sliding it too much through those turns, or losing too much speed, you'll be all right. But right now, you've got a Vincent Crow hanging out on your shoulder.
Yeah, with 45 laps to go, that's just, I believe, just a preliminary move. That's what the word I'm looking for is. So that's a preliminary move that he has gotten going on there. Just trying to get set up. You know, he's just coming up there, letting Bacon know, you know, putting that little bit of pressure on him. And there he goes.
There's the move. That's what we love to see. Vincent Crow shooting out ahead of Bacon Zelenka, taking the first place spot. Is he going to be able to slide down and get things in line? Not quite yet. Not quite yet. I think he's going to try.
But Bacon's got to understand at this point, you know, what are you going to risk to try to keep this guy from passing you? When he caught you, obviously, because at this point, at that juncture right there in this particular time in life, he's faster than you are. You just got to accept that. So, you know, you could sit up there and take both of you out, or you could just say, hey, man, you know, good run. Let me reconfigure here, and I'll get another run at it.
Here comes the night race conditions now. All the lights are lighting the track. We used to have some sunlight, but that's all gone now. Bacon Zelenka is in second. Vincent Crow is in first. These two are keeping things nice and steady here. The current conditions there on the right side of your screen, folks. 74 in the air, 78 on the track. The wind's died down about 2 miles an hour from where it was out of the southwest, and we are looking pretty good.
Yeah, we're right now just watching everything unfold. The 24 car still leading the way on the 7 of Signore. Mark Sanchez doing what he can there. Everybody's just really kind of following each other. Nobody wanting to kind of step out. Nobody wanting to take too many chances right now. The key is going to be available at the end of this thing and to not get caught up in any late race shenanigans. Well, green flag racing right now continues to win green for a while. That's great. Drivers are going to want to see that continue. Looking at the bumps.
Yep.
We got a couple guys out there that have stopped 5 times. Got a couple guys out there that have stopped 6 times.
Okay.
And then we got some guys that have stopped 4 times. So that's gonna be the scenario right there. Because if the caution were to come out again, that is definitely gonna cause these guys to have to make some decisions, Joe.
Yeah, if we get another caution, I think there is a pretty good chance that we will. Just call it a hunch or an instinct or something. But I think there's a pretty good chance we're going to get one more caution. I almost hesitate to say at least, but I think we're going to get exactly one more caution before the end of this race.
Exactly one more, Joe? One more? All right, we'll go with it. We'll rock with that. Joe says one more caution left to come up in the books here. But what we're watching right now is we're watching Kenny Powell, and he is trying to do everything he can to close the distance between himself and the 77 of Ryan Strunk, because Powell can feel that pressure coming there, because behind him is a 29 of Mark Sanchez, and he's bringing Mr. Signori and Mr. Drumhiller with him.
Yes, he is. Drumhiller in the back of that little group. Signori with him. Drumhiller trying to find a spot. I think he's actually quite happy where he is at the moment. Signori not really trying to push very hard either from where he is in 6th place. Maybe both of them realizing that with the time we have left, there's a chance for them to do that in a little bit. And if we look up ahead of that group, Kenny Powell is ahead of that group. And then there's a good car length gap between Powell and Strunk. Ryan Strunk now in 3rd place. I think this is the highest he's been all night. He's up 10 from where he started in 13th place, just 1 ahead of the last place, one of the last place gritter. So very good run right now out of Ryan Strunk, who's able to hold on to that 3rd place spot very well.
Yeah, that 77 car has definitely been no stranger to danger tonight, though. He has been all over it, definitely throwing it up in the mix and making it happen, walking out every time. I mean, this guy is a guy that says, hey, I'm having steak for dinner. That's the way he's driving tonight. Not like he's asking somebody, or somebody's asking him, hey, what do you want? No, he's like, hey, I'm having steak. That's the reason why I like Randy Drumhiller. I mean, he's decisive. He is very, very, there's a word I'm looking for. He is very methodical.
That's the word. Methodical. That's a good word for that. And I'm looking through some of the lap cars. Unfortunately, it looks like Paul Olson has decided to go back and put it up in the truck for the night.
What?
Yep.
Paul must have done the math there. Yeah, he's 11th now.
He's holding on to that spot. He's still ahead of Greg Wyszynski, who is in the pits right now and has been for the last 45 minutes.
I hate to see Paul flipping out on us like that. Wyszynski has been behind the wall. He is never leaving from behind the wall. He's then cooked his motor while he's been back there. So whatever chances he had, they're done too.
Yeah, unfortunate the way you see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here we have the cars out in the field right now being led by Vincent Crowe, Bacon Zelenka in 2nd, Strunk in 3rd.
Gotta bring Greg Wyszynski up here to the booth. Hey, Greg Wyszynski. It's Big Al up in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Hey, what's up, Big Al?
Hey, man, kind of short night for you guys tonight. They got kind of wrapped up in a little bit of a scenario. Why don't you give us your vantage point or take on that whole scenario?
I think the 88 car split up into the 2, I think it was. And, just caused a wreck, and I just couldn't avoid it. It happens sometimes. That's racing.
Yeah, I was talking about the 49.
The 49.
Yeah, you had a little bit of an incident there earlier on with the 49 car. There towards the end of the stage 1, because you talked to us about that incident.
Yeah, I got into him a little bit off the corner there. I think he might have gotten a little loose in front of me, and I just got into him. Yeah.
So no, I was looking for a juicy story on that. So I guess there's no juicy story.
I mean, you get raced how you race. I mean, sometimes, but that's what happened was he got loose in front of me. I mean, I'm not out here trying to wreck people.
I got you, boss. Well, man, who you shouting out here tonight for your less than stellar finish?
Well, of course, you find gentlemen that take the time out of your busy schedules to do what you do. And all the rest of the guys in the ISCA and G&G Racing.
All right, hey, thank you for your time, sir, and good luck to you. Maybe next week you can get back out there because we're watching you climb that leaders board there, and you need some good finishes to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have had a pretty decent finish tonight, but it's racing. It happens. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Roger that, sir. Enjoy.
See you.
That was Greg Wachinski with the Gas and Go Racing Company. Talking to Greg there after he had like I said, a little less than stellar performance there. Probably not finishing nowhere near where they wanted to. Definitely nowhere near where they needed to. Wachinski's high right now on that points board. And Joe, unless he can come out and have a couple of solid performances here late in the season there, that's even going to be in jeopardy.
Yeah, not the kind of race that Greg Wachinski wanted here, but you heard what his attitude was. It's Rubbin's racing. You're going to have some bumps here and there, and he wasn't really trying to cause any trouble. This is the kind of situation you got to bounce back from in that kind of way. And so, good luck to him later as the season goes on, but he needs to, let's hope he stays in these next couple of races to get some of those points to put him back on a little higher on that board.
Amen. Couldn't have been said better myself. So he is definitely going to want to be doing that, man. Watching these guys right now. I mean, watching Mark Sanchez, Kenny Powell, with Ryan Strunk and Bacon Zelenka right there. These 4 cars, it's going to come down to these 4 guys battling it out here for a solid finish position. The 47 of Vincent Crowe, he's really kind of putting himself in a different time zone, if you will. So right now, these guys are going to have to catch Vincent if they're going to want to have any chance of being thrown up here in the mix. So I guess that battle is going to be for second and third here overall, as the 24 car Kenny Powell making it that 29 car aware of his presence. 29 going to drive down deep there, coming to run on the 77 of Ryan Strunk. Strunk feeling pretty solid about where he is at, because he is currently being shown in third place, starting this thing in 13th, like you pointed out so diligently earlier. But he cannot seem to get away from the 29 of Mark Sanchez. Sanchez stuck between the 24 and the 77, doing everything that he can, trying to keep the car in the fray. You're not just managing the temperature of the tires, you're also managing the temperature of the motor.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Got to keep it cool. Right now, you can see the front of Sanchez's car. That beautiful gray livery is now spotted with bugs. It's got to be clogging up the car, making it hard to stay cool. But, Sanchez with a little bit of a slide out of 1 and 2 there. Small one, but it's a slide nonetheless as he gets ready for 3 and 4. Let's see if he can keep things nice and straight here. Coming through 3, 4. Little bit sideways again. Just a touch of slip out of that car.
Man, I think the bigger story right now, though, is the fact that there's a 3-second lead between first and second place.
That's true. Vincent Crowe got out there and did what he did last time and made a massive, massive gap between himself and second place, something that he doesn't have to worry about for potentially the rest of the race, the next 20 laps.
Yeah, definitely seems to be pointed in the right direction, doing all things right. Just hoping that there is no late race collision that's going to end his night or make it more complicated than it already is. We're watching the 24 because he is all over the 29. 29 now comes down again on the inside of the 77. Watching that dive in that the 29 is getting on the 77, man, that is hard to fathom. And right now he still holds on the inside. Is going to put Ryan Strunk to the outside. Sanchez makes contact, but he still holds on to the position. And that is going to make it that much more difficult for the 77 to try to attain that position, look at the drive that. Oh, and then Kenny Powell's there on the inside. Just makes a slight tag on the 77. 29 comes up the block. 77 is going to go down. 77 is going to make that 29 try to hold that position. Now he is going to try to get to the inside, but look at Mark Sanchez. Looks like he was going to close the door, but this battle is far from over right here as he gets a little loose on the tires. Ryan Stunk's down on the inside. Definitely not giving him any room whatsoever. No breathing room. That's the name of this chapter that's going into the book. Now the 29 is going to try to get the drive off that he needs coming off the corner. He's going to run down the straightaway. The 77 down on the inside, trying to achieve the dominant position. 29 not yet strong enough to get it done. Strunk's doing to him what he did to Strunk. Still can't make this pass complete. And just like that, now the 24 is going to be coming. He's going to be trying to come low. And there he does, and that is going to give the 77 something else to think about. You know, he's going to be battling against the 24. If the 29 can get his head straight, get a run now, he might be able to get a little breathing distance between him, but I don't think he is out of the woods just yet as the 24 and the 77 continue to battle side by side. They've got Randy Drumhiller behind him, and he is just looking for an opportunity. Now he is going to go high. Powell sensing that something is amiss. Now he has got to try to battle with the guy on his outside as well as block that 44 car that's underneath him. Side by side with the 77, beating and banging, coming off the turns. 15 laps to go. This being go time. Randy Drumhiller now is going to try to take a play out of Powell's playbook. 77's into the wall. That's probably going to do it for Ryan Strunk. Right now, the heat's in the tires, and he is discombobulated. If anything, he just right now has got to regroup, try to mount another attack. But, man, look at how the positions just shuffled there just like that. Now Mark Sanchez totally secure on the podium now with even a little bit of breathing room from his G&G teammate, Kenny Powell.
And we've got 13 laps to go, folks, on the boards. 14 by my NASCAR math.
Yeah, that 77 still not giving it up.
No, sir. Strunk's trying to make the pass right now on Sean Signori here, the number 7 car. They're side by side. Strunk on the inside. Signori on the outside. He's got more speed than Strunk does right now, but that could change very quickly with a little bit of side drafting here. Ooh, contact between the two.
Yeah, Strunk's definitely not been. He has not been yielding at all. I mean, that's been his motif all night.
That's true. He's been driving where he wants to drive, and if your car is there, just keep an eye. Luckily, people have noticed him a lot of the time. He's been getting bumped and banged a little bit here, but he drives a very, very determined line, and he sticks with it. Oh, they're into each other now a little bit. Signori back into Strunk, and not enough to turn either one.
And I just hate to say this, but this is not what you want to see if you're anybody else on the racetrack besides the 77 and the 7. These two guys are going to have to figure it out here, hopefully sooner or later. Hopefully they can do it without making contact with each other and causing a caution flag to come out, because that would just destroy the lead that Vincent Crowe has and put him really back into the midst of the pack. I mean, not everybody even has another set of tires, so maybe these two will figure it out, but I don't think so.
And Strunk has cycled back a little ways here as Signori takes the lead from him over into 6th place. Drumhiller far ahead of both of them at this point. So it's these two. It's Signori and Strunk.
Yep. With 10 laps to go.
Bump
these
from
two
Strunk
right here side by side, still not going to settle this. This battle's for 6th place, guys.
Yeah, this is the hottest battle we have in the field.
Great side-by-side racing. That's what we can say about it. You gotta love it. Yeah, aside from these two, I mean, the only other race was to break down the concessions back there.
Whoa. That was a massive slam into the wall for Ryan Strunk. He just lost a lot of speed, and that might be it for him in terms of his car's ability to really outrace anybody tonight. That was a hell of a slam into the outside wall.
Well, he's been bending the strings on that thing for a long time. You know, that car not being one of the better handling cars out there. That Strunk, you know, I think he raced it up. He raced it hard early. And that just put him in kind of in a situation, speaking of situations, you see the 24 car dive right by the 29. I don't think Sanchez was actually prepared for that, because he's going to try to mount a counter assault with 7 laps to go in this thing. But that definitely
right.
gives Powell a clear shot at Bacon Zelenka.
And that's what he wants. Powell wants that second place spot, and he's only got about 6 laps to do it. So he needs to make up some speed here.
Yeah, he kind of spun her there coming out of the last turn. So now he's definitely trying to regroup. That allowed the 29 of Sanchez to kind of pull back up on his haunches a little bit. So Powell definitely going to have to try to recover from that mistake.
Powell looking now, lap 188, folks, at a 193. We are close to the end of tonight's race. Get up and get on the edge of your seat, because we are going to see who of these marathon runners is going to cross that finish line in first. I mean, I know it's going to be in first, but let's see who's going to do second. Keep it interesting. You never know what could happen.
Oh, yeah, 5 to go. This is going to get something.
It is indeed. We are down to 5 to go, which means I think we know who's going to be in first place here. But let's look at that second place spot. Let's look back a little bit further at the some of the other spots. Let's see, which other spots got the closest race. It really is that second place race right now is the race that we're looking at here. So let's see if between now and the end of the race, Bacon Zelenka and Kenny Powell can get things sorted out and figure out which of the two of them is going to be crossing that line in second place.
You definitely got to love it. And I'm watching the 24 Kenny Powell. He's been doing everything right. He has gone to school. You know, he's got a major in the 45. Been watching him for the last 7 laps. Been slowly reeling him in right now. It's going to come down to just how wide is the 45 going to make that forward to keep that 24 at bay. And Powell still, he cannot let up, because Mark Sanchez still not done. 2 laps to go. Sanchez wants his name on the podium as well, as Powell now starts to move himself, configure, trying to get one more swipe at it. Coming up high, down on the inside of the 45. Bacon tries to close the door. Now he's coming back for the counter. Bacon's going to drive back down. Now these two side by side going to go into the turn again. Bacon and Powell side by side banging doors. Sanchez comes up to ring the bell. Powell now back down on the inside again, running out of time, running out of turns. Can he make another run at it? They pass the Geico restart zone. Kenny Powell now coming up high.
That was the white flag as well. We're on the last lap right now. Let's look at the front really quick. Vincent Crowe is getting ready to cross the line. He's going around through it.
Powell lost it.
Powell lost it, unfortunately, but it looks like Vincent Crowe is going to cross the line and take it all at the fall in 250 here. There we go. Way to go, Vincent Crowe. That'll be the checkered flag there, with Bacon Zelenka in second, and rounding out your top 3, Kenny Powell. What a crew. Very, very good. Let's break down the racers, and we'll give you the unofficial results right now here from Nashville. First place, Vincent Crow. Second place, Bacon Zelenka. Third, Kenny Powell. Fourth, Mark Sanchez. Fifth, Randy Drumhiller. Sixth, Sean Signori. Seventh, Jose Medina. Eighth, Ryan Strunk. Ninth, Jeremy Clapper Newell. And 10th, David Gervais.
And that's going to put Paul Olson in 11th. 12th place, Kendall LeVron. 13th place, Greg Wachinski. Jay Hone rounds out the 14th place. With that in place, you're going to watch a little celebration here from Vincent Crow. She is backing up.
Let's see what he's up to. Maybe he's doing a lap in reverse as a celebration.
Okay. Well, that's different.
He's a broad-thinking man, that Vincent Crow. As far as burnouts go, though, I'm not sure how I can rate this. Yeah, probably a 0, maybe a -1. He's actively driving backwards with no rubber on the track. That's a burn in, says the truck, and I'm going to agree.
I don't know. For originality, I'm going to give it at least a 78.
Okay, all right.
Maybe
out of 1,000, that's a fair score.
We've never seen anyone just back around the track before.
That's true. We never have, because it's. I think we're seeing why we've never seen somebody drive backwards around the track
He's
before.
doing a good
We're seeing
job,
it.
though. I mean, if you just in terms,
He's keeping it between the lines.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give him an 82. That's where I'm
okay. Very good. Very good. Very good.
All right,
Let's
look,
get things.
we're done backing up. We're gonna step away, get a word from our sponsors, a real quick word from our sponsors. We'll be back with the post-race show.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the ISCA Super Cup Series post-show, where we are going to be interviewing the drivers who went around and got the first, second, and third place spots in tonight's race. We're going to kick things off with third place is one and only Kenny Powell. Kenny, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right.
Oh, that's good to hear, my friend. You were kind of all over the place tonight in terms of the standings, but one thing that we noticed was that you were really pushing up toward the front. There was a couple moments where you had these great exchanges with a few drivers too, just doing these little do-si-do maneuvers. Can you tell us what was the hardest part of tonight's race for you?
Man, I don't even know. I hate this track. I despise this track. This is what I think is my worst track on the circuit. So it just seems like to me everybody races 100% the whole time, and I've never finished a race here without being in some kerfuffle. So I don't know. It was fun racing side by side in that tight, but I don't even know what to say.
Well, you were able to make it work. However, it went, you liked the track or not, it was something that worked out for you. Was there anybody you considered maybe your rival for the evening, or someone that you were really just trying to work around for most of the night, who always got the better of you?
Track position was just my rival tonight. I did have damage. I was second or third right there at the end of the first stage, and then had to fix damage. And then worked my way back up towards front. Got a little bit of damage again. I didn't fix it. I raced fine, but then I decided to, for the third stage, go ahead and fix it, and got back in traffic a little bit. So I was having to pass people twice that I'd already passed before. That was frustrating, but that's just that's racing.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah. So I wish I would have been able to race this clean and race it out with Vincent, because I think I could have had something there, but we'll never know.
All righty. Well, let's go ahead and ask you who you'd like to shout out to and thank for tonight's performance.
Yeah, all my G&G boys, thanks for being there, and you guys up in the booth, Kobe down in the truck, and everybody that's still participating in the league. I appreciate it. It was a fun race, even though it was frustrating. I'm not mad at anybody.
All righty. Well, thank you for your time, Kenny. We'll be talking to you soon, okay?
All righty.
All right, folks. That was Kenny Powell in second. I'm going to pass the microphone over to Big Al, who's going to interview your Kenny Powell in third. Big Al's going to interview your second place finisher, Bacon Zelenka. Take it away, Big Al.
Hey, Bacon. This is Big Al up in the booth. You got me.
I don't agree, Big Al.
Man, what an event tonight. You came out here, man. You started this thing off, kind of in the back of the field, but you really kind of drove through, and you were up front for the majority of the contest. So was it just your car was just that good, or were you guys just that confident?
Well, I mean, part of the issue, especially with a lot of these tracks, is I'm a road course guy, so I'm seeing these tracks for the first time, and I get to run 20 miles of practice, and that's how I race them. But I didn't have the best car, and I was just chasing all night. I ended up being over to the end when I was over tight for most of the race. If I would have not over-adjusted, I think we could have been a lot closer to Vincent, but he definitely had the majority on driver.
Yeah, so this being one of your first times at this track, I mean, how does it stack up? Do you feel that now that you've actually put in a couple hundred laps, do you feel that you're adequately prepared now to actually come back and take a stab at it and maybe win it next time?
I mean, it's always a hope, right? Gotta get better every time out.
Yeah, how many laps you said you put in this week just getting ready overall?
Oh, none. I bought the track 10 minutes after practice started.
That's solid, man. To do all of that and have a solid performance, man, congratulations from us here in the booth, man.
Thank you.
All right, who you shouting out for your overall second place finish?
Always my parents. Of course, Vincent for getting me into this. I feel bad for him because I just got to deal with me all the time. Kenny Powell for putting on the races. Anyone in the races in the ISCA. It's a lot of fun. Of course, the commentators. You guys make it a lot of fun for all of us.
All right, man. Well, you're going to have to start putting some practice laps in so you can talk to Joe. As I always say, Bacon, don't party too hard, brother. We'll see you next week.
All right, see you.
That was Bacon Zelenka, your second place finisher. Back to you, Joe.
You got it. I'm going to take the mic back, and I'm going to talk to Vincent Crow. Vincent, can you hear us?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Yay. What a race. That's how you're feeling? Yeah?
Yeah, I haven't won a single race this calendar year since the start of January. League, official, sports car, Formula car, NASCAR, doesn't matter. If I've raced it, I haven't won it. So I feel like this was the win I needed to break the glass ceiling and maybe go actually win some officials and many more in the ISCA.
Hey, that's what we'd like to hear. Well, congratulations on getting out of the rut, so to speak, and getting back in the winning saddle. And I'm glad that I could be here and we could be here to call the race for you. As you had a dominating lead, there was only one moment in like the third in about the third stage, where I said that, oh, look at what Benkins Link is doing. He's doing exactly what Vincent Crowe does. He's getting ahead and he's holding on to that lead. And you said, nah, and you went right ahead and you had a dominating lead, just 3 seconds on everybody by the end of that race. So in stage 3, you told me your goal was just to win the race, and you accomplished that pretty darn well. What did you have to change any of your strategy by that point, or were you just sticking to the guns?
So stage 1, I felt pretty good with the car. I think Sean may have been just a little bit better at the end of the stage, and then the caution I think actually kind of helped me because I got to cool my tires off, and then so I win that stage. And then stage 2, I knew that I was not very good short run, so I tried to up my tire pressure and make the car a little bit tighter, and all that ended up happening is I kind of hurt myself, and Sean got the better of me, and so did Bacon. They got 1-2 on me in stage 2, so I reversed those changes, kept the changes to keep the car a little bit tighter, but reversed the air pressure for the longer run, and it definitely paid off. It worked. If this race went green from the start of stage 3 to the end, I think I would have had an even more sizable advantage at the end of that race, and just really happy with how the car drove, and really happy with the result. It's nice to win a race. I don't care what it is. I don't care the context. It's just nice to win a race.
Yeah. Yep. I can get behind that, my friend. Oh, yeah?
And I'm the point leader. After tonight's race, I will shift ahead of Gitter and DeCiani and Heitman, and I will be the point leader. So that's a call out to them if they're listening and they're watching. I'm ahead of you now. So.
All right. Hey, not bad, my man. I like that call out. I like the challenge to some of the guys who might be watching. So anyone you want to shout out to and thank instead of challenge for your performance tonight?
I want to challenge anyone to find me a more badass motorcycle than the Boss Hoss Dragon, an LS V8 trike with a funny car rear end, so you get all that drag force on a trike. It's the most badass thing I've ever seen. It's the most badass thing I've ever driven. Sorry for the language, but there's no better way to describe it. The Boss Hoss Dragon is out of this world. Of course, Boss Hoss has an entire catalog of motorcycles, V8 choppers, and things for people to check out. So it's the home track for them. It's a big event, and it feels good to get the win with the Dragon on.
All right. Yeah, I pulled up pictures of that Boss Hoss trike, and you guys, you better go do that too at home. If you're looking for something to ride, this thing would be the talk of the town if you were on one. So go check it out right now. Vincent Crowe, your first place finisher and the big winner tonight from Nashville. Take care, Vincent. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, folks. Hey, that's going to wrap things up here from Nashville Super Speedway with the ISCA Super Cup Series Thursday night, Fall In 250. And Big Al, what's your big takeaway from tonight?
Man, I'm just glad that we're leaving the Nashville Super Speedway. Next week will be anywhere other than here, and that will cause me to cheer back to you, Joe. I can't wait to go.
Well, I love to hear it. And you know what I love to hear is that we are moving on to greener pastures as well. So Nashville, we'll see you later. Next week, we're going to be going, I think the graphic will come up. I don't exactly know where we're going next week, but I want to thank Kenny Powell for letting us be here. And I want to thank you, the folks watching, for joining us. Thank you, Big Al. Thank Kobe and all of our racers for helping put on a great show for everybody here. If you have more interest in the ISCA, folks, be sure to go check out iscaracing.com. We're on Twitch. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. It's all over the place. So come on out, show your support, hop into the Discord, come race with us. We got a great season that's still going. So next week, Michigan International Speedway with some more great times from the ISCA. I'm Joe LaCastro, your humble host, Jolo to you, and I'm joined this week by Big Al and Kobe, and we're saying sayonara from Nashville. Good night.
I found the ISCA after I'd been in the service for a long time. I'd been in iRacing for well over a decade and spent most of my time in NASCAR series, a lot of fixed racing for the most part, and really just got to a point in my iRacing career where I really wanted to get involved in open setup racing versus fixed, partially because I was just looking for a little higher level of competition, you know, maybe a little cleaner driving and maybe get away from some of the challenges that go along with fixed racing on the service. And it took me a while as I was really searching out leagues because I kind of had a very specific thing I was looking for. A, I wanted to be an established league. You know, B, I just really wanted clean, quality drivers to be racing around. And And once I found the ISCA, I found out really quick that it was going to check all those boxes, and I've been with the ISCA ever since.